What is this?
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and
What
every
the
sound.
hell?
Praying or upskirting? Hard to tell. It's a weird way to mark Valentine's Day, but not as weird as this.
It is.
My grandchildren and I painted some cards, Valentine cards, at the weekend, which we are going to be presenting to the men in the camp at Crowborough as a welcome.
What? You told literal children to write Valentine's Day cards? A cultural observance primarily devoted to expressing romantic love, and plan to give them to 20-something illegal migrant men as a...
Oh. What the fuck? Okay. Now I'll be real. When I was a little kid, I got hella Valentine's Day card. But if you told me, hey, little Johnny, 5 years old, write this 28-year-old illegal immigrant how much you love them while they're in our country, while they have a drastically higher rate of committing pedophilia than a normal citizen. I just don't think that's a good idea, man. I feel like we're incentivizing people to maybe get their attention from the wrong places. Just my opinion.
welcome from the children. In the immediate aftermath of numerous cases of these very type of men preying on children, men from countries...
Yeah, probably not a good idea to send Valentine's Day cards from children to pedophiles. Probably not the greatest idea.
...where adult-child relationships of this nature are permitted. In a town where schoolgirls are already being followed around by these men. Yeah, I'm sure the parents who protested against these migrant men being dumped on their town are gonna love that. When Jim Ratcliffe dared to state what the majority of the British public are thinking, they all lost their tiny minds.
You can't afford, you can't have an economy with 9 million people on benefits and huge levels of immigrants coming in. I mean, the UK is being colonised. It's costing too much money.
Here's what I don't get. How come you can have black neighborhoods and it's fine, and Mexicans who want to live amongst Mexicans and it's fine, and Asians who want to live amongst Asians and it's fine, and Indians who want to live amongst Indians and it's fine, but if white people want to live amongst white people, they're racist, they're white supremacists, and they're worse than Hitler? Hey. You can be mad at me, but you can't tell me I'm lying. That shit is retarded.
Will cause, it'll cause, well, yeah. The UK is being colonised by immigrants, really, isn't it?
Cue an absolutely hysterical AstroTurf moral panic, culminating in the Prime Minister himself demanding Ratcliffe apologise.
And the kind of language of being colonised by immigrants, you're talking about people who've come here to live, to work, to have families, as though they're a hostile, occupying force, taking away your language, your culture, your ability to survive.
Yes, it's incredibly racist to suggest that mass migration is a negative force that's demographically colonising the native population of England. We must just be imagining the ONS data, which shows that some areas of the country are down to just 5% native. Just...
Holy shit! They're down to 5%? Oh my.
Open your eyes. Reality is but an illusion.
Come on, give her a break.
You guys, you don't even know who's running in Texas, okay? So stop being so condescending.
You know, for 5 seconds, let somebody finish their thoughts before you have to be rude.
She was terrible. Get over it.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Stop. Kevin, stop.
Place that is a new horizon for her.
Don't say that.
Enough, Kevin. Christy, no.
Have to do with the
Let me get my point across, and then you can. And the point is that
Help me.
Kevin.
Stop talking. Don't get mad at me. All right, Kevin, a quick last word.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm not sure.
Word is, you're all nuts.
Clinton Jaws. Is there anybody better than Kevin O'Leary? Guys, please like this video. It's the only thing I care about. I don't want your money, just your likes. I'm watching last night. I laughed out loud, and when I laugh out loud, I gotta show you. Abby Phillips is not happy with Kevin O'Leary. Let's watch. They talk about AOC, and yes, we're going to play the clip again because you have.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is facing a wave of criticism for this foreign policy club at the Munich Security Conference.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is a,
What?
this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point, and we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Good answer.
It should come as no surprise MAGA is having a field day with this one.
Move over Kamala. AOC just cooked up her own signature word salad on the global stage.
She was taking her 2028 bike out for a spin. She hit the embankment. She flipped head over heels and went all the way down the mountain. It's her fault.
After the word salad, AOC froze like a deer in headlights.
To quote Billy Madison, everyone in this room is now dumber because of that answer. Thank you, AOC.
Here we go.
A flub for AOC, but the question is also, what happens when the president, the president of the United States, does very similar things on the world stage?
Not similar, at least he spoke.
I watch our police and our firemen down in 7-Eleven, down the World Trade Center.
When I told them about Iceland, they loved me. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
Shifting production to Thailand
Oh, I'd say it.
and to Vietnam.
I saw the words that was unsolvable. Azerbaijan and Albania.
Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa.
Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient. We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is, sorry about that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union.
So look, I'll give you that AOC probably should have been more ready for that question, but are we going to really pretend that the actual president of the United States has not made similar or perhaps worse flubs on the global stage?
Yeah, I don't think we have to pretend. Everyone makes some flubs. We're all TV personalities. We have mistakes here and there, but it's interesting that you would play 10 consecutive clips of Trump actually saying things. Maybe they may not have been pertinent or taken out of context.
Incorrect.
You played one of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which the whole world is still trying to figure out exactly what she was saying. So, you know, the big buzz now is maybe Kamala, AOC, 2028. I say, bring that on based on that performance right there.
Yeah, listen, stumbling over your words for 15 seconds is not the same as being incoherent or uneducated on foreign policy. She has a ton of amazing answers in that same interview, which we are not playing. We are playing in its entirety, which we do not do for the president. Personally, I was more interested in the thing she said, where she said we're entering an age of authoritarianism, where a group is working in tandem to carve up the world into pieces to serve themselves, and the president is interested in taking on the Western Hemisphere. First of all, that seems kind of true to me, but going to the Munich Security Conference and saying that out loud in the world is kind of ballsy, and I liked it. So a couple of ums before answering a question on Taiwan.
Not a big deal. You should go to Queens once in a while.
She has gone to Queens a few times, so she's, listen, this is, she doesn't, she's not a foreign policy expert.
Clearly.
And so, no, she's not.
Come on, give her a break.
You guys, this is you don't even know who is running in Texas. Okay? You
have for 5 seconds. Let somebody finish their thoughts before you have to be rude.
See how you will be able to answer that. Look, I
think that it takes a lot of courage, and I think for her to be expanding her message, for her to be expanding her areas of policy interests are a good thing. She is one of 435 members of Congress. There's a lot of them there that don't come with a breadth of foreign policy
You're right.
knowledge.
She was fabulous.
It's not about her being fabulous. It
To give a speech. Let's say you're hired because you're expected to deliver information to an audience. Let's say you're even paid for it. When you go and do that, what happens is the agency that hired you, whether it's the government, your own party, says that was not your best moment. In fact, they tied you back to Kamala Harris. You were so bad. Like her. And by the way, I'm sorry, it's not a partisan issue. She was terrible. Get over it.
So
now maybe she'll get better.
20 seconds. That was it. No, but the reality is, if you take just a minute and not be condescending, I really believe what she was. One moment. You had your moment.
Imagine bringing her home.
The reality is, Kevin, is that she was taking a beat, and yes, she wasn't great for less than 20 seconds, if you ask me, but I thought she was doing something that the President of the United States rarely does, and that's think before she speaks. She was trying to get her words together so she knew how to handle it appropriately. And if people did that, we wouldn't be in this situation that we're in right now.
Abby would tell the producers don't have them on anymore. They wouldn't be on ever again.
Everyone stop talking, please, for just a moment.
Kevin.
Stop talking. Thank you. John and Kevin, you all are strongly criticizing AOC for making floods. All right. We just played several bites here, okay? Let me hold on. He stood next to someone from the EU and called them the Prime Minister of the EU. Okay?
He said something.
He called South Africa South America. He called South America South Africa.
He doesn't.
He called Greenland Iceland. So my question to you is, okay, bad answers, bad answers. What do you think should happen to Donald Trump as a result of his bad answers?
AOC wants to become the President of the United States. He already is.
Okay, so
he's not worried about running again.
So what are you saying? So what are you saying? That it's okay, no consequences because he's already president?
No, I'm just saying that moment was not her best. And I, above all of the rest of you, I am encouraging her to say, listen, watch the tape, don't do that again, or you'll be
What about
word salad girl.
What about when Donald Trump in 2024 said, I think Taiwan should pay us for defense?
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
I don't think that we're any different from he was running for president at that time.
Let's lift her
He
up.
says, I don't think we are any different from an
See what they're
insurance
doing
policy.
here?
Why are we doing this? When he was asked if the United States would defend Taiwan.
Yeah.
Maga's having a
So,
field day,
even on
and then we make some comments which you all think in your head, and now you get mad at us
I'm sorry, this
having a field day.
is
We
not
deserve
working
it.
for you.
It was a terrible
John, hey, I'm just asking for you all to apply the same standard
I think he makes mistakes
to
all the
the
time. And I
president
crack
as
his left.
you
Just like
do
I
to
cracked up with Joe Biden when he made mistakes.
But you know
It happens.
what? The women's laughing. You're mocking her. You're saying
Because she's not even forming sentences.
you're comparing her to the
She's not
other.
even forming sentences. She's not giving like a long back. Or
They're monsters that should never be invited back.
Making fun of women.
One of the differences is though, when Trump makes these mistakes as president, he's actually reading from things that people supposedly experts on these issues have written. AOC was beyond her skis, I think, in a place that is a new horizon for her. And no, Kevin, you're so damn repetitive.
Kevin, please stop.
And, you know, she can't, Donald Trump can't read a script. She was answering an impromptu question of something that she's not an expert in. And she's there making mistakes and learning from them. Listen, I'm old enough to remember when George W. Bush was running for president, and they asked him about the guy running Pakistan, what was his name, and he kept saying, General, because he couldn't remember the guy's name.
An iconic moment in American history.
I mean, and he went on to become president.
Right, next for us.
And some more great things from last week.
Everybody who makes a lot of money, there were more of them in New York City. So the idea that there was some...
True. Why not increase taxes to 100% if it's so good?
Look,
Let's go.
Don't get mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I'm excited about it. I love it. But I want you to pay, not me.
I'm asking you. I think Mamdani has shifted the politics in the city, and I think it's a real question that if the voters who voted him in to raise taxes on rich people don't want him to actually do that.
But what happens if he doesn't deliver? By chance, maybe he doesn't deliver. I still can't get on a free bus yet, and I'm pissed. My hotel still costs me money in New York.
Are you getting on the bus? Are you getting on the bus?
Are you legitimately getting on a bus? $5 for coffee. I'll get on the bus if it's free.
So the bus is free. You yourself get on the bus.
My hotel.
Is that what you're saying?
It'll be
2% more.
From here.
Guys, all right.
I want my
All right. We gotta go.
This is not all about you. The catch-22 here in New York is that there's a balanced budget law, right? And so they can't be like the federal government and spend more than what they have.
All right, don't respond, Kevin. We have to go.
Did he promise?
We gotta go, my friends.
Nothing chicks for free? Yes or no?
Chicks for free?
Money
No,
for
I think
nothing,
that was
chicks for free, and we didn't get either of them.
Kevin, listen. That free bus is going to cost you 2% more on your upper tax bracket.
Where's my money?
Next for us.
You're a Canadian who lives in Florida. What the hell are you upset?
Next for us.
Christy, no. Let me get my point across, and then you can. And the point is that they charged them criminally, and when they went to court, evidence proved that what they had said was a lie. That this government lies. That's the point.
All right, Kevin, a quick last word.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm not sure.
My last word is, you're all nuts. Like, that's just...
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Kevin.
Guys,
Am I in on that? Okay.
Look, we got to keep it together here, okay?
We are.
Honestly, I mean, there's a way to talk about these things. If you don't have anything to say, just say that, and I won't come to you next time. All right, next for us, everyone. Everyone, thank you for being here. Next. Excuse me. Excuse me. Stop. Kevin, stop.
And it's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start with some...
When science failed me, magic was there.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Your idealism refreshes a battered old soul.
You can't be that old.
Astral projection makes me feel old.
So I saw this crazy ass caption on Twitter a couple days. It took me actually a couple days to actually get around to talking about this, but I did kind of want to look into this a little bit more with all you guys. A trans man in Canada, Alice Michael Atwood, who stabbed his 7-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter, severing the girl's throat and leaving her on a tube, and is still free under Canada's catch and release system, traveling in a van with Every Child Matters on it. What the fuck? Atwood was arrested and then released until their next court date. An 8-year-old child whose esophagus was severed in the attack faces several months on a feeding tube. Brother, just put him on a guillotine. What the fuck are we doing? Why are we wasting government money? Why are we wasting time? These people, once you commit atrocities, like, you're not going to get better. They're a danger to this world. Hang them. Am I crazy here? Atwood's social media platforms, including Discord and Facebook, have had posts mentioning the attack since their arrest. I stabbed the hoe in her shoulder, yes, but Jesus Christ. We'll read this right after.
Good morning. It's your favorite hobo you love to hate. I just wanted to do a check-in, let people know that I am being safe, I'm being secure. I have taken care of my needs, and I am just chilling until I actually go for my sentencing.
So this guy brutally stabs a 7 and 8-year-old child, and they let him go until it's time to sentence him. In what world is this required? In what world is this the proper thing to do? Canada's justice system is a fucking joke. And it's crazy how the older I get, things that my grandpa used to yell about on the news are just still true till today. The world justice system is a fucking joke. It's every trial is a fucking coin flip. The dealing with of criminals is it's embarrassing. Anybody with common sense should know that this guy should be put in the middle of the street, stripped naked, with taken razor blades and covered his body in kerosene and let him on while hanging in front of everybody. You cannot have innocent to the guilty because that is a punishment to the innocent. These people, these very easily demonstrably evil human beings should be examples that we as people use to show them what happens when you do horrific shit like this. The fact that he was let go is hanging in a van puts more children in danger while he's smiling, laughing, and singing about it. If Disney were to make this guy a supervillain, people would say it's unrealistic for anyone to be this evil, and they would rewrite the character to be more believable. This is a walking, talking human piece of shit. And he's allowed to walk free because there's so many countries that are ruled by weak people. They are. And let's be real. Canada, their government is run by a lot of weak people. There's a reason why we don't want to adopt Canada into the United States. Because if we do, we will never have another Republican president ever again. We just won't. Okay? We just won't. Canada is somehow more blue than California. And I'm sorry, I don't believe in this whole everyone should be allowed to do whatever the fuck they want to do type shit. Fuck that. Okay? There's rules for a reason. And we should abide by those. And we should punish those doing wrong. And not saying, oh, it's okay, we'll give them a second chance. I hate that I even have to watch this piece of shit. Let's keep going here.
And, yeah, I did kind of realize that we do have a highly unique opportunity here, whereas I'm someone who did something heinous, and I'm on social media. Whereas a lot, pretty much all the other people who do something heinous get locked in a box.
As they should. And to be honest, I don't think that's enough. I absolutely support and encourage the death penalty. Absolutely. And I believe the death penalty on how you get killed should vary on how horrific the incident or horrific the crime that you committed. And to stab 2 7- and 8-year-old little girls,
Unfinished business here.
one of the worst things you can do. And if I was Canadian right now, I would be horrified that our judicial system was allowing someone like this to walk the streets free. I would be horrified.
And blocked out from society, and they don't get to talk to them. So, does it put me at risk? I'm already at risk.
We just let the modern-day Joker walk free?
I have unfinished business.
Why are we being so understanding and caring to psychotic pieces of shit like this? Surprise, surprise. Another trans person stabbed somebody. I'm surprised it wasn't a gun this time. We need to monitor these fucking people. And when they do this shit, fucking kill them. Don't waste government dollars. Don't waste government funding. Don't waste cell space. You put somebody in a cell if they have an ability to atone and get better. You don't waste prison space on a person, a fucking freak, that has stabbed little girls. Absolutely not.
So whatever, I guess. Yeah, sure it does, but also,
And I guarantee you this hasn't got any mainstream media coverage. I would be shocked if anybody sent me mainstream media coverage of this fucking psychopath. Because people have been sleeping for these fuckers for forever. Why are we protecting child murderers.
know that I'm going to do everything in my part to not hurt anyone else in society. For sure. Like, nope. In society.
Oh, don't worry, guys. They're going to try to not stab any more children. Oh, okay, great.
For sure. Like, nope. I'm good. That was a horrible error. And,
guys, I really messed up. It was a horrible whoopsie that I killed 2 fucking children with a knife. The fact that they're allowed to go on the internet and make a joke out of this, say, whoopsie, guys, I made a fucky wucky. Holy shit.
And I shouldn't have ever done it. I never will do it again. And if I could...
Doesn't matter. You already did it once. Too bad. Hang this fucking dude.
Rewrite history and make it so I didn't do it, I would. But that's not going to happen.
Do people look at this guy and think, yeah, he's sounding fine? Yeah, no, he's got his head on straight. You know what? Let's give him another chance. You know, maybe those little girls asked for him. Fucking crazy.
So I definitely have to answer for it, and we just have to. So what do you think?
Oh, I guess I just gotta deal with the punishment of my own actions. Holy shit! Actually, what do you think? Like this is Dora the Explorer. Do you think I should go to prison for killing 2 girls? No, I must be in Canada. Holy shit!
What do you do with this opportunity? Since we're connecting. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, here's what I think you should do. I think you should fucking kill yourself. Save the world some space from a piece of shit human being. That's what I think you should do. Let's read another direct quote. I stabbed a hole in her shoulder, yes, but held it shut until EMS arrived. Yeah, I stabbed her, but I didn't slash her like that at all. I was trying to remain optimistic given my situation. It doesn't mean I haven't been remorseful. It sucks and I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh, they'll get therapy. Jesus Christ. March 13th. We're able to wait a month. This freak gets to walk free for a month after stabbing 2 little girls. That is fucking crazy. What a joke the world is.
The dog successfully registered to vote in California, and they're still going against voter ID. So we're going to talk about Newsom's reaction to this, but let's go ahead and watch this video because it's going to be crazy.
We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here. It's John Thomas and Philip Thomas. Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here.
Yeah, why wasn't there something to detect how a 100-year-old was able to vote? Not saying centurions? Not centaurs, that's the horse thing. Centurions, I think. Whatever it is. How come nobody was checking in on this?
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
I'm not. So a 126-year-old voted. We got issues, guys.
You think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Do you know where the ballots might have gone? Like for 108 people, that were registered here?
When it comes to fraud,
and I'll tell you right now, living in Los Angeles in an apartment complex, not the poorest one, but not the greatest one, you would see mail-in ballot. Like whenever you'd get a letter in the mail that wasn't yours, and it happened a lot. Post office guy's lazy, he's just throwing shit everywhere. You would just take the mail that doesn't belong to you and you'd put it in the lobby for the person to pick up. Stuff was probably getting stolen all the time, but you would see mail-in ballots sitting on the counter because they got stuff that didn't belong to them. It happens a lot.
Most people think about money. However, there's another potential massive fraud story taking place in America, one tied to the most consequential system in our country, which is our voting system. This has to do with everything.
Yeah, that's why probably 99.9% of, actually all first world nations except for the US need voter ID, in-person voting, in-person voting, and they count it within hours. None of this, we have 7 weeks to count the vote over here.
About who runs the country and how elections are actually controlled. If we don't have voter integrity, what even are we? And there's one state that is the breeding ground for potential voting fraud, and that is California, where it can take up to 1 month to count all the votes.
1 month? What nonsense is that? And the thing that upsets me the most is where I lived in LA. As soon as about the voting booths closed, they already called it for Kamala. It was no, not Kamala. They already called it for Biden as soon as the booths closed. But then days after the election was over, they were still collecting boatloads of ballots from these drop-off boxes around where I live. And I was like, wait, how do they know he won? I'm certain there's like mathematical probabilities, but honestly, it didn't seem to care.
Voter ID and millions of ballots are cast by mail. And with voter rolls that are extremely vulnerable to errors, such as over 200 people who are over the age of 125 years old.
And I think somebody in chat said the oldest person ever was 122 years old. So we have people breaking rules. Not rules. People breaking records in massive amounts in California. Either we have the fountain of youth here, or we have voter fraud. Either way should spark an investigation. If we can live to 126 in California, I want to know. If there's voter fraud in California, I want to know. But for some reason, both of those would get you banned a couple years ago.
To vote in certain areas, and now to see how easy it is to vote, I headed to the location to register to vote inside the state of California. Now this is the register of voters right here. And I want to ask him, why don't you need voter ID to vote here inside of California? I was curious.
Yeah, why is it illegal to ask for your ID to vote in California? That should be the bigger issue.
How come in California you don't need voter ID to vote?
Exactly. You're promising you're not lying. But also, there doesn't seem to be a system to catch if you're lying. So if a criminal is willing to break the law, why would if they're willing to commit a felony by voting when they're not allowed to, why would their criminality stop at signing that they're not breaking the law?
Battery 65%.
Do you think it leaves any room for error with voter ID, or? Yeah, I'm just like curious because
she knows what she's saying is a lie, but she'd rather toe party lines than actually be objective about anything. This is scary that these are the professionals in charge of the leader of the free world's elections.
I want to make sure that like our elections are as fair and honest as possible. And I feel like voter ID is just something super simple to have. And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
You just told us how. They signed and promised that they were allowed to vote. Of course they wouldn't lie to me. Again, this is just plain dumb. Nobody is this naive into adulthood.
Yeah, if they don't have their ID and they could just sign on behalf of Richard Sherman, then they could technically vote, right?
What? This is like somebody just discovering a lie for the first time. Like, no. I wouldn't claim I'm a famous Seattle Seahawks cornerback with dreadlocks as a white guy. No, nobody would ever do that. Like, I honestly wonder, Nick should have just said, hey, what would stop you from me coming in, voting, signing this thing, coming in with a mustache, signing it, coming in with a beard, signing it, like, oh, thanks for the prime sub. Nothing stops me from coming in here repeatedly or coming in here with a boatload of ballots. And you're trying to say, well, it wouldn't happen because we live in an honest society. Would be lying.
Yeah, but what if they just don't care?
And I wonder if you put the shoe on the other foot, if you said Trump won this district by 100,000 votes. Do you think that MAGA supporters would lie and they would cheat in elections? Because I'm sure if you swapped it around and say, hey, Trump was winning this area, she'd be like, oh my God, of course they would lie. They're evil, angry individuals.
What if like Richard Sherman and Billy Bob Joe just don't care?
And they are prosecuted in large amounts.
But so you don't think illegals would ever vote, would you? No.
And she hands him, is that a ballot that he just got? Like, I don't think anybody would be voting that doesn't belong here. Obviously, Nick Shirley's somebody that's from, where is he from? He's not from California. Is he from Minneapolis? Where's his hometown from? But him getting a mail-in ballot for California would be hilarious. Not because he would fill it out and actually do it, but the idea that they just hand it out. Is he from Utah? That would kind of make sense. Because he is a Mormon, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Showing your ID, you sign your signature, and then it will scan to verify it is you. So technically speaking, anyone could show up saying they're someone, and if the signature is similar, that vote will then count. And with millions of people voting, it leaves room for fraud to occur. Just take these two examples.
A Southern California woman is facing 5 felonies after registering her dog to vote in 2 elections. The dog's vote was even counted in one of those elections. Those behind the stunt say she did it to show the flaws of the current system.
That's like that guy that snuck in a sharp object onto an airplane to expose TSA for a flaw that he knew they had. Nobody's really celebrating if you're successful and you expose a flaw in the system. You might be doing some pretty heavy jail time if they catch you, which they did.
The people who cast votes according to state records, but we found they've been dead for years, including a woman who died in 1988, and records show she somehow voted in 2014, 26 years after she passed away.
We got a problem, guys. This is that Big Short moment. We got a bubble. There's a bubble. Sell, there's a problem.
Then there's Julita Abutin. Records show she voted in Norwalk in 2014, 2012, 2010, and 2008. The only problem is she's buried here at Forest Lawn. Abutin died in 2006. Is it possible your mother voted in 2014?
There's no way.
Abutin's daughter Maravik says it's certainly impossible that her mother voted, but the LA County Registrar confirms they have signed vote-by-mail envelopes with her mother's name for the 2014 and 2012 elections.
You got to figure out who mailed in that ballot. Who was at that address? If it's the daughter, investigate that. If it's someone that moved in the home that she used to be in, or it's like an old people home, investigate that. Somebody's got to go to jail over this. Unfortunately, since they have no, there's no watermark ballots, there's no chain of custody, there's nothing to show who cast that ballot, probably won't be able to jail anybody.
Even though she died 10 years ago.
So it's not some crazy conspiracy theory to think that people are illegally voting inside the state of California.
It's like, here's all the mainstream media outlets of them reporting on this. Here's Alphabet's Bipartisan Policy Center putting this warning thing. I think they called it nudges. I forgot who was saying it. It's like a brainwashing program to have nudges on social media fact checkers or whatever, just to say, hey, here's a guy making a claim. You can see it for yourself. We're using the same resources that they used to endorse themselves. Here's why the Bipartisan Policy Center said mail ballots submitted by voters who meet eligibility and validity requirements are counted in every election. So what are the validity requirements? It's not ID. It's not even validating that you're still alive. But then they say before they're counted, election officials will vigorously verify the validity of every mail-in ballot submission. Well, obviously they didn't catch this dead woman voting for decades. Well, obviously they didn't see if these people are citizens. Like, all these words they use the word validity how many times? Twice. I guess vigorously verify validity just makes me see it a lot, but these zombie voters are voting, but they want to nudge you back to say, hey, he's trying to get you to question stuff, but here's why he's wrong.
And with the state receiving millions of illegal migrants, the opportunities for fraud now are even higher as millions of undocumented people are living inside of the state. Now let's go meet up with a man by the name of Urson who has dedicated years of his life digging through voter rolls, finding fraud and inconsistencies.
And big W is to Urson, because here's the thing. He's been doing this for a long time, but now that Nick Shirley has a huge platform, which he has 1.69 million subscribers, he's giving attention to who was the guy in his last video over in Minneapolis. That was just a guy that's been looking into this for a long time. Nick uses his platform to give attention to it and becomes the biggest viral video on social media. Nick, like many social media like influencers or content creators, could follow up his Somali fraud video in Minneapolis with another fraud video in California, but no, he's switching it up. He's finding things that are pertinent to Americans, and I strongly believe Nick Shirley is the most important journalist of the year, if not for his generation, because it's going to change things, to change the way that people see journalism and investigate things
throughout the state. So how bad is the voter fraud here in California?
Well, we actually don't know because law enforcement isn't really investigating it, and we don't have people qualified to actually figure that out.
And what kind of fraud is taking place?
Well, we have voter rolls of about 22 to 23 million people.
There you go. See, I was like, is he really giving information? Not actual voter roll. It's not allowed to show publicly. So this is just lorem ipsum. They just made this up.
In California, and we have just in Orange County per se, there's 60 to 70,000 changes a month that happens. So the amount of time and effort to go and follow up with every one of those, we just don't have the resources to do that.
And so what information have you been collecting about the voting fraud here in California?
We have people that are still in our rolls from 2008 that are still getting ballots mailed to them that haven't voted in 18, 16 years.
And so they haven't voted. What's the problem with them receiving those ballots?
Well, sometimes there's votes that happen later on with someone that hasn't lived here for 12 years. And we found several occurrences of that. When we turn that in, those are treated as independent incidences that don't affect the outcome of the election. So they're highly disregarded.
Exactly. When they say there's no fraud in voting. Okay, there's